You heard what Obama said?
Never.
Imagine if I came in here and said these things that he said.
Not even Obama.
No,
Clinton.
no, Obama
Bush.
just said it. Obama just said
I
it.
know, but I'm just saying, think about people.
Y'all bragged on me for wearing a beige suit, my nigga.
Yeah, but I think the difference
This nigga
is,
said walk up and grab him in the pussy. And women still voted for the nigga.
I posted it. But you got to think about it. We're living in reality, and I think that's what people need to understand. And right now, too many times in life, we've curated this fantasy of what we're supposed to be and what we believe ourselves to be, but you are forgetting who the fuck you are as a person. There are more animals that are inhumane by nature that are working, that are in positions of power, and it will always be that way. I'm not with the whole narrative of trying to turn my shoulder to what exists, especially when we know that technically speaking, it exists way more or equal to the ones that don't.
But I'm a fan of, you could think whatever the fuck you want, but you have to have a level of respect. And I think that you have to have a level of decency and decorum. He's allowing people to say, fuck that.
But why?
It's always existed, but we've always maintained a certain level of, you can go down south, right? In the South, they be racist as fuck.
That's how I like my race.
But the white people will say good morning to you.
Mm-hmm.
How y'all doing today?
They
They'll hold the door for you. You're not fucking with my daughters, my sons, my nothing. But we have a level of respect. You gonna stay over there? I'm gonna stay over here. We know where we stand.
Very true.
But we still respect one another on an outward surface, right? What Donald Trump has awakened in the people is slam the door in their face, right? Don't speak no more. All of that shit to me is whack. And now you have a younger generation growing up thinking that that's the way to be. That's not the way to be.
That's the way they were already.
But
the younger generation.
No, you have to think about this. We're talking about the federal government.
Yes, saying
the federal
fuck the people.
government saying fuck the people. We literally pay a lot of taxes so that we can have certain things, so that we can have children who have access to IEP, so that we can have people who have student loans from the federal government, so that old people can have medical coverage, so that all of these things, we pay for that. So why on earth would we ever be okay with someone that's taking it away?
Saying fuck them.
Yeah.
He's not even taking, he's saying fuck y'all.
I don't understand. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
I think the whole thing was a mask, though. As to like Rico's point, is like he's just putting it in our face. It's always been there.
That's not true.
No, it's the federal government. They have.
That's not true.
There's a history. Like you.
My thing is. I think you always thought you had more power than you had.
That's possible.
Thank you. That's all
possible.
it is.
That's all I'm saying.
I don't think people think that.
Just people in general. I think they let us think that we ran some shit. And if we voted, it's gonna go a certain way. And you yell and you scream
and protest,
you ride and you protest. We'll listen to you and we'll maybe change a few things. But that just was never the case.
It's not an agreement. This has been a dictatorship forever.
All right, do people really have power in America, or is it just an illusion? Do people really have power in America, or is that just an illusion?
People have power. Do you want to say something, Ollie?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's very important to recognize that people have power. I'm going to use what happened in New York as an example. They have a law that states no New Yorker will go without a bed and food and medical care. I think that's it. That's what it is. And it was actually Texas who started importing their immigrant population to New York, and immigrants were occupying and taking these resources, and the taxes in New York raised because there was this huge influx of a population that couldn't work but were receiving these benefits. These policies were in place because of the people. We absolutely do have power. We are just not utilizing the resources that are available, in my opinion.
All right, go ahead, Ali.
If people didn't have power, there wouldn't be a need to control them, or delete people when you can't control them. There wouldn't be a need to make it hard for people to progress in society. Everything in society is exactly how they want it to be. So you see that the 1% is always going to control a certain amount of product, a certain amount of wealth, and the rest of us are gonna have to be the people that's being controlled. We become the so-called economy, but in order for them to exist, it has to be powered by the people who produce the products and who spend and consume in society. So we have a lot of power, but when you can control who thinks, you control the people. So if they didn't control us, they wouldn't be. If we didn't have power, there wouldn't be a need to control us.
Absolutely.
I would say that we should, Americans have the most power as a people out of any other group of countries of people, because America has a saying. So even your Bill of Rights is based on your power. Your Second Amendment is not just to protect yourself, but to also fight against a tyrannical government. That is what you guys are made for. That's what you guys are made to have your weapons for. America has the most powerful group of people in the world, but America is not using their power and making sure that their government doesn't F them over. And I think now they're getting effed over, and they are losing their power due to bending the knees for little crumbs, just for crumbs that maybe the government or the 1% give you, and you bend the knee and you keep bending the knee and you lose more and more of your power. But I believe that America, the government should be afraid of you.
Absolutely. And I think Donald Trump saying the things that he's saying, as crazy as it is, that's him exercising his First Amendment right. And I think that's the bigger point. If we get so reactive over just what words and sounds are coming out of people's mouths, we're forgetting that at a constitutional level, like she said, we all have rights. And it arguably could be him reclaiming the freedom of speech in this country.
What did he say that was crazy?
Grab her by the coochie.
Have you ever listened to Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion or anything like
Yeah.
that? You listen to it? Why not?
I mean,
why can she say stuff like that, but
that's a great point. And I think that's a great point, right? Why do we allow some groups of people to say certain things like
that wasn't what he said, by the way. He didn't say grab them.
Oh,
he said women are so easy and starstruck that they will literally let you grab them by their hoo-has. He said the truth, because women are sleuths that way for money. He said nothing but the truth, so help him God. And women got offended because he said it.
I didn't get offended because I don't even get into politics.
I will say this though. Don't let Bruce. Man, no, he's the goddamn president of the United States.
Yeah.
You don't get to say shit that Cardi B said as the president of the United
States. That's not the same.
Why not?
We all have the
same.
What rule was that?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
He wasn't the president at that time.
And another group doesn't. Why?
He wasn't the president.
To a different standard though.
Why?
It's the same reason why you can't say certain things in a boardroom, but you can say it in a strip club. Come on now.
If I own that business.
No, absolutely not.
Who said you couldn't say it?
Absolutely not. I don't want my president talking about grabbing nobody by the pussy. I'm sorry.
He wasn't your president when he said that.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying when somebody asks, well, why can't the president say some of these things, but Cardi B can, because he's the goddamn president of the United States. Like
she has.
Oh, you should hear what Biden has said.
She has influence over millions of young women. She has influence over millions of American young women. You think that's not the impact of her power doesn't have equal, if not
more? See, that's the problem, though.
To me, though, it's not about the impact of their power; it's the job position. Just like
just because of the position of the job.
You're a representation of the country. I don't want the representation of our country, the leader of our free world, out there out there in the world talking about grabbing women by the pussy. I mean, I wouldn't want Obama to go out there and say that. I wouldn't want Biden to go out there and say that. And if Kamala Harris would have won, I wouldn't want her going out there and representing the country that way. You are the president of the United States. It's the same.
I don't think he's representing the country saying that, though.
He wasn't the president when he said that, so I don't know why we keep saying that.
And in fact, we got people representing the black community that's going out there and saying worse and doing worse things than that. We listen to their music. We wear they merch and quote their lyrics.
He is saying though that there is a standard of responsibility that we should have.
And we need to police ourselves at our doorstep first.
But two things can be true at once. Yes, you're absolutely right. You can't have somebody be be responsible. We can have us as the representation of the Black community to be responsible for the things that they say, while at the same time saying that the president of the United States shouldn't be out there representing the country in the same way that Cardi B does. I'm not sitting here saying, like, if we take grabbing her by the coochie off the table, right. I wouldn't want the president of the United States acting like Cardi B.
Fair, but so part of the reason why
what's
people
happening,
like
and what
him,
this is what's happening. In one ear in our community, we're hearing, you better eat it like groceries. And then we hear the officials say, eat it like groceries. Like, oh, no, hell no. Like,
again, you're
Let me
comparing
ask you a
somebody who's a
question.
rapper to the president of the United States.
What song say that? What song say that, by the way?
Somebody eat it like groceries? You know, Kehlani said that
representing, but
was on a song with I think it was with Tiger, right?
Yeah. If it's okay with the people and the officials represent the people, then essentially,
her. My bad.
He's talking like us. I think that's why people like Trump so much, is because even the way he talks, it's relatable. He talks like us.
I don't get into politics, baby. They're gonna do what
you
they want.
You should get into politics.
They're gonna do what they want to do. The president is selected, not elected. I've been knew that.
You might not think you're not in politics, but you actually are, and I can show you how you are.
Okay.
Have you ever worked for a corporation or for a job where there was promotion involved?
With a promotion?
Like, where have you ever worked for a company or a job where you can advance in promotion? Have you ever leveraged yourself to get up the chain?
Wow.
I'm just saying.
I think my existence is leveraged within itself, though. My existence is leveraged within itself.
And let me ask you, so I don't mind people having freedom of speech, but it needs to be universal. Okay, if the president can do something, y'all got to stop getting on teachers every time they get up here and say something. It's like, oh, get her fired and get her fired.
Valid.
Sure.
Valid. That is true.
That's
right?
true.
So y'all think Kamala was a better fit?
I don't.
What are we getting into? Huh?
It's all the same, boo. It's all the same. Promise.
I will say this. I think Kamala Harris is far more presidential than Donald Trump is.
She had Cardi B on stage.
Would she have been more supportive to the Black community than Trump?
I didn't say nothing about that. I said she would be far
I'm just
more
asking.
presidential. I didn't say none of that. I said she would be far more presidential. The way she would present herself in the office, how she would speak, all of that, she would be far more presidential. Does that make her more qualified or what I voted for? No. I wouldn't vote. I didn't vote for neither one of them. I voted down ballot.
Yeah.
I didn't like neither one of them as options. But
question. Is the presidential office just some like figurehead? You just want them to look good, but if policy-wise they don't do anything good for the country, that's okay. Like, would you rather have someone who maybe lacks tact but is absolutely putting America first versus someone who just looks good?
We would rather have both.
Okay, I'm just throwing that out there.
Also, I don't think Trump
I mean, I don't have a problem with Trump, but I'm just saying if we could pick a person, ideally we would want to have both.